Congratulations on your successful bid for joining the European Union. Can you tell me what do you think is going to be the biggest advantage or advantages for Croatia after becoming the European Union member, or for the Croatian people?
Thank you very much for congratulations. Really, it's a historic moment for Croatia. During this period of negotiations, we have done many changes, built many important institutions. So this already is a great benefit for us. For sure, the biggest benefit is being in the framework of values, which being a member gives. Successful companies will have a broader market. Young people will have opportunities to study, to work, to gain more experiences. We will have more opportunities to sit down with our partners in EU, making common goals. Together we will probably use much more our transit routes, also improve even more our infrastructure. So I think there are even some advantages which we are not even aware today.
One of your former presidents saying that one of the biggest advantages is the fact that Croatia got away from nationalism and the danger of ethnic and sectarian violence. Do you think it's enough, the fact that you joined the European Union, is it enough to keep it away from these dangers?
I don't think that there is a danger in Croatia for this, and we have a war period and a healing period after the war, and also that postpone in a way our way to European Union for certain years, and we somehow missed the first train, so to say, with other former communist countries, which gave them certain advantage. So we are entering into the EU fully prepared, and we are looking forward to work with other partners.
Okay, how about the biggest drawback or the biggest challenge of being a EU member? What do you think that's going to be?
Certainly there are challenges. We also felt that this negotiation period that we have to change ourselves in a relative short time, but it's worth definitely. Maybe there will be some drawbacks for firms which didn't adapt themselves on time at the beginning. So also maybe some institutions or sectors which were used to some subsidies rallied on this. Without them, they will have to change themselves. So there will be certain, but I'm thinking relatively short period, being a small country, we are flexible and we will adapt very soon.
You talked about economic challenges like losing subsidies. This is going to affect the people's lives. Is the government worried about this? Is it worried about some sort of maybe streets protest or other form of revolt in a short term, as you said?
If you look at Croatia, her way in her development in the last 20 years, you will see what I said before. Due to the aggression on Croatia, we were postponed in about 10 years, I will say. So also the modernization of the state, restructuring of the industry came later. So some things which other countries has before came up maybe now, but the government is doing very hard to overcome this, and I think Croatia has many potential. I'm not the only one who thinks that, and in a very relatively short period we will overcome. But we are witnessing that even in other countries in Europe, which has a longer period of democracy and market economy, there are problems, but we will adapt.
You said the government is doing everything it can to overcome it. Can you give me some examples of measures it's taking or
yes.
thinking of taking?
Yes, there are, for example, there is a new strategy on attracting the foreign investment. Also, our ministers are doing a road show in countries which are willing to be most prominent investors. Also, there are some touristic promotion above the old one, so they are trying to. At the same time, they are doing very hard on fiscal consolidation, and it seems already it's working.
I know you had a referendum last year about joining the European Union, and about 66% of the population voted yes. And the last surveys conducted more recently show only about 56% of the population still supports the EU integration. That's quite a drop, 10% in only a year. Does this worry the government? Does it worry that it's going to be some sort of gap between what the political elite is fighting for and what the population wants or expects?
Well, from the very beginning, from the birth of Croatia, we have very high support for the joining Euro-Atlantic integration. Of course, there are in some certain periods and where we were exposed to certain challenges, there was a slight downwards in this support. But when the situation is serious, then people are very much pro, and I don't think any problem will be there. Of course, there is always a reflection what's going on in Europe, and if Europe has certain internal difficulties, and if there is a certain financial and economic difficulties, that it has certain reflection on Croatia, but it's I don't think it's anything serious. It could be also the statistical error or something close to that.
You said you hoped to improve your infrastructure thanks to the EU integration. I suppose you're talking about EU funds. And since we're talking about challenges, I know Romania, one of the biggest challenges Romania faced after joining the European Union was absorbing these funds. We were quite bad at it. Is the Croatian government preparing some special measures to absorb these funds better than Romania, for instance? Do you have a country that you'd like to model?
We are speaking with most of the member countries. We are interested in those countries who were the best, the leaders in taking the money from EU fund, but also we are very much interested what happened with those countries which didn't have such a big percentage. So I think Romania has this experience of being more than 6 years in the EU, dealing with applications for the forms, Romania can be an interesting interlocutor for Croatia. You have many positive experiences and some negative experiences, so Croatia is working hard to get all this experience and to prepare itself. Our percentage in pre-accession funds were very good. Also, we built our infrastructure on our own money, so we already did many things and have experience in this, and I hope we will have success in this field as well.
Since we talked about challenges and how other countries might help you, I know Romania has been trying to get more involved in counseling and helping new EU members or candidate states with the integration process. What do you think is the most important thing you might use from Romania's experience as a EU member?
Here one can see really a variety of countries being here as foreign investors. So I think although you don't see maybe from inner side this aspect, but it's visible that you attracted many foreign investors. You've done many things in improving your infrastructure in various aspects. Also, agriculture can be of interest for us, building institutions. So I think there are very interesting areas for us.
How about learning from our mistakes? What do you think is the biggest mistake you would think, oh my God, that's a huge mistake, we would never do that?
This experience with the EU funds, we will try to avoid somehow. But I'm not aware of all the measures you have taken.
I also saw in the media that Croatia's entering the EU might affect its neighbors, like Bosnia. Bosnia is going to lose one of its biggest export markets for farming products, for instance. Do you think this is going to somehow tense the relationships between the two countries?
I don't think so. Croatia is closely working on the everyday basis with all our neighbors, and we feel even now the certain responsibility which were offered us, so to say, from European side, to take responsibility to help our neighbors who are striving towards EU integration. So we are doing on an everyday basis. We are having contacts with Bosnian authorities, with Serbian authorities, with Macedonian and Montenegro. So all the nations, all the countries in our neighborhood. And this is true. With entering into the EU, there is a possibility to lose this free trade agreement between Croatia and them. But the European Union is helping us also. So we will try together with European Union and with our partners in the neighborhood to solve the problems and to do on the interest on every side.
And since we are talking about neighbors, I'm interested in your relationship with Serbia. I know the new president of Serbia is one of Slobodan Milošević's former closest allies. Does Croatia have a problem with it? Like, is it? I know Serbia is trying to join the European Union now. Is it in any circumstances Croatia going to try and block this or somehow stop the process?
No, on the contrary. We are very much interested that all aspiring countries, all the countries in the southeastern Europe join Atlantic integration, and we are doing everything that we can to help them, to stimulate them on this process, on this path. I can tell you that we gave them as a present all the countries which understand Croatian language as a gift. All the acquis communautaire, which is now huge, more than 300,000 pages. So it's a translation will definitely help them. For example, if I understood good, Slovakia got translations from Czech Republic, and it helped them to speed up the process for maybe a year or two. So the translation is very, very valuable. And also we established the office in the government which will help other countries which have interest to give them all our experience in the negotiation process. It's already this process is already on the track. We also have on the daily basis delegations going to these countries explaining so also to Serbia and other countries what were the best practice and how they could gain from our experience.
Once you join the European Union, you will be holding part of the external border of the Union. Are you ready for this?
This is one of the important things, but we were aware of these things years ago. So the good thing is this: we started with the preparations already a few years ago, and we are very close to do this, to close this job And I think that within 1 or 2 years we will be definitely ready for this job.
We have been trying to guard the external border of Schengen. We've been preparing to join Schengen for years now. Do you think you might learn something, somehow make a collaboration with Romania?
We are already in contact with your government and with your offices which are responsible for them, so they are in a close contact.